Hello my dear students, welcome in our science lesson in grade 5. Now we will take unit 3, food relationships among living organisms. Unit 3 talked about food relationships among living organisms. What's the importance of food? Food, the main source of energy for all living organisms. Green plants can make their own food, so green plants known as producer. Producer means autotrophic organisms. What's the meaning of autotrophic organisms? Can make their own food by photosynthesis process. Green plants take water and minerals from soil, take or absorb sunlight, absorb carbon dioxide from air, and produce oxygen and some nutrients. Again, green plants absorb carbon dioxide from air and absorb water and minerals from soil and take sunlight from the sun, produce oxygen and some nutrients. This process is called photosynthesis process. Green plants, the only organisms or only living organism that can make their own food. So green plants autotrophic organisms. That means green plants can make their own food. Animals, there are two types of animals. Animals depend on plants directly, known as herbivores. But some animals depend on plants indirectly, known as carnivores. So, the animals depend on plants directly is called herbivores, but animals or another animals depend on plants indirectly is called carnivores. Animals can classify herbivores depend on plants directly as sheep, cow. Some or other animals depend on plants indirectly as lion, tiger. Okay. There are many food relationships among living organisms, such as predation, symbiosis, saprophytism. Again, predation, symbiosis, saprophytism. Number 1, predation. Predation is food relationship between two different living organisms. Which one devours another one? Again, predation, food relationship between two different living organisms. Which one devours another one? The living organism which devours another one is called predator. But the living organism which devoured by another one is called prey. Predator as lion, tiger, shark, spider, cat, wolf, fox. Prey as rat, deer, rabbit, some insects. Predation. There are predation in animal world, but there are predation in plant world. But predation in plant world common less in animal world, because green plants or plants can make their own food, but some plants can't make their own food. Again, some plants can't make their own food because some plants can't absorb nitrogen from soil. So, some plants predation some insects. Some plants predation some or devour some insects to get nitrogen for making proteins, as Dionia and Drosera. Give reason. Drosera is considered as insectivorous. What is the meaning of insectivorous? Insect eaters. What is the meaning of insect eaters? vegetation, some insects. Animals devour some insects to get nitrogen for making proteins. These plants called insectivorous. Okay, as Dionia and Drosera. Predation in plant world common less in animal world. Give reason? Because plant world producer can make their own food. Okay. Some ways of self-defense against predation in living organisms, such as camouflage, mimicry. Number 1, camouflage. Camouflage phenomenon in which living organism protects itself. What's meaning of protects itself? Hides from enemies by changing its color to simulate the color of the surrounding environment, such as chameleon, some birds, frogs, butterfly. Give reason. Chameleon simulates the color of surrounding environment to hide from its enemies. Number 2, mimicry. Mimicry phenomenon in which the harmless or living organisms imitate other harmful organisms to frighten their enemies and escape from them. As some bees look like wasps. Some bees look like wasps to frighten from their enemies. Predation, food relationship between two different living organisms. But this food relationship, temporary food relationship. Give reason. Why? Because predation ends by divorce, prey or a part of it. Because predation ends by divorce, prey or a part of it. Number 2, food relationships among living organisms. Number 1, predation. Number 2, symbiosis. Symbiosis, common food relationship between two different living organisms, which both of them get benefit. This is called mutualism. There are 3 types of symbiosis: mutualism, commensalism, parasitism. Again, mutualism, commensalism, parasitism. Mutualism, food relationship between two different living organisms. Both of them get benefit, such as nodular bacteria and beans, soya beans, or leguminous plants. Again, mutualism, food relationship between two different living organisms. Both of them get benefit, such as nodular bacteria and leguminous plants. Commensalism, food relationship between the different living organisms. One of them, which one get benefit, and the other neither get benefit nor harmed, such as sponge and the tiny aquatic living organisms. Again, commensalism, food relationship between two different living organisms, which one get benefit, and the other neither get benefit nor harmed, such as sponge and tiny aquatic living organisms. Parasitism. There are 2 types of parasitism: external parasitism, internal parasitism. Number 1, external parasitism. Parasitism means food relationship between two different living organisms, which one get benefit and the other harmed. One get benefit, the other get harmed. Get benefit called parasite, but living organism harmed called host. Okay. External parasitism, Parasite leaves externally host's body and feed sucking the blood of host's body, such as mosquitoes, fleas, lice, bugs. But internal parasitism, parasite lives inside host's body and shares its digested food or feeds on itself or cells of the host's body and its tissues. Internal parasitism. The parasite lives internally inside the host's body and shares the host its digested food or feeds on its cells and tissues, such as bilharzia worm, filaria worm, tapeworm, scaris worm. Any worm, it's internal parasitism. Okay, parasitism causes weakness and diseases to the host, but predation kills the prey. Parasitism common relationship, but predation temporary relationship. Parasitism again causes weakness and diseases for the host. What is the diseases parasitism causes? Parasitism causes anemia. Scaris worm causes anemia. Mosquitoes causes malaria. Fleas causes plague. Filaria causes Elfandiasis disease. Bilharzia causes bilharziasis disease. Again, parasitism causes some diseases for the host. Examples: Scaris worm causes anemia. Filaria worm causes Elfandiasis disease. Bilharzia worm causes bilharziasis disease. Mosquitoes causes malaria. Fleas causes plague. Give reason. Elfandiasis is called by this name because the infected food like the food of elephant in size. Again, Elfandiasis is called by this name because the infected food like the food of the elephant in size. The last food relationship, saprophytism. Saprophytism, it's food relationship in which saprophytes, what's the meaning of saprophytes? Decomposers. Which decomposers get their food by decomposing food remains or bodies of dead organisms. Again, saprophytism, it's a food relationship in which saprophytes or decomposers get their food by decomposing food remains or bodies of dead organisms, such as mushroom fungi, penicillium fungi, and bread mold fungi. Today, we studied relationships among living organisms. I hope you can understand the lesson, and with my best wishes, Miss Iman Shadid, Khudir Private School, and goodbye.